Today's session, we have discussed about these different styles of designing application. We have taken an example of ATM, how it has been transformed from a monolithic or a client server architecture to SOA, then to microservices architecture. So what we discussed, that monolithic has so many drawbacks and it's very difficult to manage. Maintainability is a challenge in that. So they have come up with solution to migrate it to SOA. So SOA is very, very popular still today. Most of the applications they are using SOA only because it has been built nicely and now they don't want to change it. It's working fine. So like online banking, SBI is still using SOA, and even IRCTC is still using SOA. But Amazon website, that shopping, the Twitter application which you see, and Uber application, they have migrated their applications to microservices. Okay, so we have seen some facts about these architectures. Please mute. Okay, right, so we have seen about these things. So I will talk more about microservices now. So why this is very popular, and what are the features of microservices. I said that microservices is just an extension of SOA, where you design small services, you have small independent services. Okay, so in microservices architecture, MSA, you have so many small services, and each service should do only one task, and each service can be written using different, like this service can be of one programming language, this service can be of another programming language, this can be of another programming language. So we have the feature of polyglot, means I can use any programming language, and deployment is in cloud, right? Why we are going to cloud? Because uh, because why we have to go for cloud? Because of the auto scalable feature. I said right yesterday, during big billion sales or during some no Republic Day sale, the number of requests hitting those applications is very high, so they have to replicate multiple copies. So that is taken care in the cloud automatically. Okay, so that's what we say auto scalable, right? So this is about microservices. Now this is fine. Each microservice is in different server. It is in cloud. This is in cloud. Where in cloud? If you ask me where in cloud, it is especially cloud containers. So people who have completed second year onwards and third year, you should have these terms in your resume. You should know, because all of you who are going to work in industry, you will have to work with Docker. You will have to know about container. You will have to know about Kubernetes. These are some important things which are very much required, irrespective of whatever project you are working on. If you are deploying your application in cloud, you need these things. Okay, right. So now I will talk about serverless. What is this? I am saying this microservices is going to rule now. Everyone is going to design microservices only. That is for sure. You are going to, every software developer is a microservice developer by default, will be a microservice developer by default. Okay, you have to write the code, whatever language, whatever application. You have to write the code, deploy them in cloud using these skills, right? So that is about microservices. Now, what is this serverless? It's just an extension of cloud. I am saying deploy the microservices in cloud, I am saying, right? So I'll talk about cloud here. They say serverless computing, serverless platforms, serverless architectures, different terms. Okay. Now, in all these monolithic, then SOA, and then in microservices. If you observe, suppose I am designing an ATM example or some institute website, for example, right? So, in this, you are designing any application. What you have to do in your machine, in your laptop, I will say in your laptop, you should have good configuration. You should have good configuration. You have to install the softwares. You have to install the softwares. Then write the code, test it, and then deploy it. Okay, so you have to do all these steps, whether you are designing using monolithic style or SOS style or microservices. You have to have a machine. You should have a machine which has good configuration. You have to install the softwares. Suppose you want to write design microservices using Java or using Python, or you want to have a SOA with C++, for example, then you have to install those compilers and softwares. Then you have to write the code. What happens in industry, company, why people go to company, they have a system there. They softwares are installed in those systems. They write the code, they test it, and they deploy it. Maybe this step is shifted to cloud. Maybe this is shifted to cloud, like we are talking about microservices. But remaining all, I have to do it in my machine. Okay, I have to do in my machine. It can be your machine or company provided, but you should have a machine. You should have good configuration. You have to install the software. You have to write the code. This is what is happening for all these styles. Now, for example, I will talk little about machine learning here. See, you have downloaded some code from GitHub. Some need not be machine learning. You have downloaded some code. You have downloaded some Python code for some, maybe some game or small application. Python code you have downloaded from GitHub or some online source. That code was written in maybe 3.5.1 version, or let us take 3.2, older, little older one. Assume it is designed using this version, 3.2.1 Python code. That code you got it in your machine. In your laptop you have the latest version, that is maybe 3.5.9 is installed. Now, the Python code or the assignment which your teacher gave to you was written from the internet, which you downloaded, was written in this version. The code, the functions, some modules, some of the modules are not there in this latest version. They are not, they have been removed. When you bring this code and run in this machine, it will not run. It will say you are using an advanced version, or the code which you are using is having some old version functions, so you cannot use this. Some of you who if you have run some machine learning algorithm, you might have faced such issue that the code which you have downloaded is different from the version which you have installed. Okay, so the Python code. Now, what is the problem? What I have to do here now? There is a deadline for me. I have to submit the assignment. I cannot write a new code. The code which I already got is of older version. But in my laptop, I have to install. I have already installed new version. In this case, right? In this case, what we can do here? Either you have two options. Either you have to rewrite this old code, or uninstall this old version, and install the sorry, uninstall this new version and install the old version so that this code runs. That's what you can do, right? Either you can do two things: uninstall, rewrite the old code which is in sync with the new version, or uninstall this new version, go back to the old version. It takes time. It takes so much of time for you because doing this thing is unnecessary headache. I have to again install. That is just an example. So if there is like this, there are so many challenges. Suppose maybe if you are using some Java and some packages you have used for Java, right? Same thing with Java also. You are using some NetBeans or Eclipse, some tools your IDE you are using for Java, right? In those IDEs, maybe the microservices feature is not enabled. You want to run a code in your machine, some particular software is not working, you have to go to another machine. All these challenges exist. Now what, tell me what happens. You have a laptop, okay, you installed, you have good configuration, you installed all softwares, you wrote the code, you tested it, you're writing the code, for example, every day. Suddenly this laptop was stolen or laptop got crashed, okay, or something hard disk failure. Lot of things happened, you lost everything, this got formatted, for example. Then your code is gone, right? You have lost your code, what you have been writing every day, which is saved in your laptop, is gone now. So for that, what you can do, sir, you will say, sir, I have one solution, I will upload in the cloud. Okay, GitHub is one nice free cloud available for us. You will upload the code in that every day. This is okay, but to run this code again, you should have the softwares, right? To run this code, you should have the softwares with you, all the softwares installed in that, right? So the problem here is you are unable to, even if this laptop is gone in some cases, right? In that time you have to again go and take another system, install those softwares, run this GitHub code. Your code is safe, not a problem. But where will you run the code? You need again another machine which has all these softwares installed, all those settings done nicely. So here there is a problem. So this gives path to a new style of writing, testing, deploying code, that is serverless computing. Okay, let's talk about this. Why are we seeing a huge number of jobs in, we are hearing about Amazon, AWS, Azure, GCP every day in our day-to-day life. Everyone is going, everybody is launching their websites in cloud, everybody is putting their applications, apps in the cloud. What is the reason behind this? Let's see this. Let's try to understand what is this serverless. Now, what if I say you should have a machine, you should have a laptop definitely. I will go a little more technical. You should have one electronic device with browser compatibility and good internet. That's it. You have one electronic device, maybe it can be a tab, your mobile phone, or your laptop machine, whatever, PC, whatever you have a electronic device with browser compatibility and good internet. That's it. Okay. You if I talk again, the major providers in market are AWS, Azure, and GCP. My Amazon, AWS, Amazon Web Services, its name is Amazon Web Services. AWS we say, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, GCP. I'll take talk about AWS. What is the benefit of this serverless? See, you need not install any software in the laptop. You don't worry about the configuration, RAM, hard disk, everything. You need not worry about anything. Just log into AWS website, choose the version, choose the programming language, choose its version, Write the code, test it, deploy it. Done. You are in India today. In India, you are in Hyderabad or Chennai. Log into a device using your credentials, username, password. You log in. Continue your code. You are building an application for your website. Today you write, build some modules. Tomorrow you are in some other country. Go there. Take a device. Log in with your AWS credentials. Continue your programming. Wherever you are, your code is there in the cloud. You are writing it. You are testing, deploying everything in the cloud. Okay, so you need not worry about the machine, its configuration, its RAM. Nothing worry about installation. No worry about stealing of the laptop or machine is lost, system is crashed, nothing. Some latest statistics, like I said yesterday, 99.995% it is no reliable. Okay, so your code, everything is there in the cloud. You can test it. Now, I explained you right about the Python version 3.2.1 and 3.5.9, for example. So I was talking about this version. You log into AWS, you choose which version of Python you want. That version you run the code, get the output. Everything is allowed. Okay, I hope you understood why this is very popular, because serverless computing, everything it is done in the cloud. We have to need not worry about the installations, we need not worry about the hardware configuration of your machine or anything you mention. Your code will be safe, your code is there always, it's up and running. Okay, another benefit with the serverless is that about billing. What is this billing? So this is not free. When they are providing you features, it is not free. Okay, right? Right. So why is it there is some billing? You have to pay some money. You have to pay some money. You have to pay the rental. Why? Because you are using his infrastructure. See, the term serverless is serverless for you, not for cloud provider. It means this says that there is no server, but there is no server only for you, not for the cloud provider. Actually, cloud provider is having those server more with high configuration. He is having a server with high configuration, installed all the softwares, everything he is taking care. So this is serverless means that it doesn't mean there is no server. Server exists, but at the cloud provider end, I am not worried about it. I am just paying rental. He is giving me credentials. I am logging, doing all my business. So he is taking all the headache of maintaining the versions, installing the softwares, having good RAM configuration, your CPU core, your hard disk space, your database, everything he is taking care of. Which database you want, Oracle SQL database you want, whatever you want, he is having it. You just use the services. Okay, so that is about serverless, right? This is very important. They generally ask you a question: what difference between server full and serverless? Okay, serverless doesn't means that server does not exist. It does not exist for the developer or the customer, but it exists at the cloud provider end. For you as a developer or a some user of the platform, cloud platform, you don't have to have anything with your end. Have a device, maybe from mobile also you can write code. Mobile also you can log into your AWS or Azure or GCP, whatever platform. You log in, you write the code, you test it, you deploy it. That's possible wherever you are in the world with internet. That can be done. That's why this is the future now. You understood now? There are so many benefits to the serverless. You need not worry about anything. Employees can work from anywhere in the world. They can just log in and write their code, continue their code. And whichever language you want, whichever version you want, older version of software, new version of software, whatever you ask, it is available in serverless. That's why it is more trending. Okay, so we have AWS and Azure and GCP, three platforms. Again, there is OpenWhisk, which is an open source. OpenWhisk exists. This is an open source, free open source. So you can play with this also. These all are paid. You have to pay it. But for student account, if you use your student credentials, maybe your institute provided mail ID and your student details, are some 6 to 12 months, they are free. Like AWS is free for 12 months for students. So like this, they have some, this is for 6 months or 9 months. Like this, we have some free service where you can log in. Now, I'll tell you about the website. See, you are designing an application of your institute of your own portfolio. You want to have your own portfolio. Let's say HTML, CSS, you are using JavaScript, you are using, right? You are having these services. You can write code directly in the serverless. Okay, your website can be launched in the AWS. But that one major, very important feature of the serverless platform is pay as you go. Very, very important feature. That's why it is becoming trending. Pay as you go. What is this? See, NIT Trichy website. I have this website, a very big, huge website. I have this. I have deployed that in AWS. I have used that in, I have purchased rental. I have purchased some configuration and I have deployed my application in AWS, for example. And now, here after deploying this in AWS, generally 1st January, for example, 1st January 2024, I have launched my website in this AWS. I paid the rental. We had some discussions, so I have launched it. So assume on a particular Sunday, NITT website has so many modules: faculty login, student login, admin login. Like, so many modules are there. Any website has that. There are so many websites. Or if not this, I'll take Amazon only. Shopping, Flipkart, Amazon, whatever you are shopping every day in this online, right? Such kind of websites. See, Amazon, Flipkart are used every day. They generally get so many requests. Do you think 31st December, 31st December, midnight, from 11 of any year, 11:55 to 12:05 or 12:15, I say, AM. Do you think will somebody do some booking in AWS, in this Amazon or Flipkart or Mintra, whatever you say? Why? The whole world is busy with celebrating the New Year, right? So none, there won't be any bookings. There won't be any bookings. Again, this is 1 in 1 lakh, I will say, or 1 in 10 lakh, because everybody will be busy in their mobile phones, right? So like this, even NITT website also, or your university website also, what happens daily morning, maybe from 6 a.m to night 12, midnight 12 a.m, somebody is accessing, some or the other, either a student or a faculty, somebody is using this website. Do you think 3 a.m, in general, I'm talking general case, 3 a.m, 4 a.m, will someone open the website? No, everybody will be sleeping generally. So this website won't be accessed. There won't be any request coming to this website. There won't be any bookings coming to this website. Nobody will be opening these websites. In that time, when there are no requests for your application, this serverless provider will stop your instances. Means it will bring down your code, that your application which is running, it will stop it. It will disconnect all the connections, database connection, what all connections, configuration settings, everything will be in sleep mode. Why? Because there are no requests, nobody is using them. Okay, so NITT website is very, very rarely used. On some festival day, why will somebody open NITT website? Okay, or your university website? Very rarely they do, because everybody is busy celebrating the festival or celebrating some college fest event. So they might not access this website. So there can be situations where there are only less number of requests at some particular time, or there are some time where there are no requests at all. In such cases, the cloud serverless providers will stop your instances. So you will have to pay the rent only when your services are used, only when your website is used by somebody, only then you have to pay the rental. When it is not used, it will stop it. Sir, what is the strategy here? AWS, Amazon AWS, if you put your website there, it will see now I think the time is around yeah 6:42. So now it is 6:42 p.m. Okay, I just opened an NITT website or your university website. I opened it. Okay, nobody else in the world is using NITT website. I opened it 6:42 p.m. last. Then Amazon AWS will wait for 5 minutes. It will wait for 5 minutes. 6:42. It will wait till 6:47 p.m. It will see during this time if there is no request, not even a single request. So at 6:48, it will stop the instances. Okay, so my application was used only for some time, maybe 6:35, 6. Sorry, no, no. Uh, is my screen visible? Is it okay? Is my screen visible? Okay, right, right. So what is happening? Suppose some request came at 6:39, 6:39 p.m. Some request came. Immediately 6:42, my request came. So this is within 5 minutes. But after that, there is no request at all. 6:48, I saw there is no request. So AWS will stop all your instances. So in a full day of 24 hours, maybe in a 24 hours day, right? So right. So in 24 hours, hardly 6 to 7 hours only your application is used. So you have to pay rental only for this much time. So they have something like, suppose you get 10K request, 10K hits per month, you have to pay some 10 rupees. It is very, very cheap. Serverless is very, very cheap. Okay, that's the reason we have all these. No, yes, these three are trending now because of these reasons. Okay, pay as you go. So why should I pay rental? See, I don't have the headache of managing the infrastructure. I don't have the headache of installing softwares with me. I need not worry about auto scalability. If I want to increase the load, decrease the load, everything is there in the cloud. Everything is taken care, and it is very, very cheap also, right? So you need not worry about anything. A cloud provider will take care of everything. That's about serverless computing. I hope you understood why this is becoming very popular now, right? I will log into AWS and show you, and then we will explore other two also. I'll show you about the serverless platforms. How do you design, deploy your website in that? We will try to see little about serverless computing today. Before I go, I just want to know you have any doubt to understand about serverless computing. Any queries you have about serverless computing in general, please ask me. That is the future because you have seen there are so many benefits. Any questions? No questions? If no, we will proceed. Yes, you can prepare. That's why we have open risk. Okay, we have this open risk software. No, cloud computing. Yeah, very good question. Somebody asked me, is cloud computing serverless computing same? No. Serverless is just a product of cloud. Okay, serverless is just a product of cloud. I will say this is cloud computing, serverless is this. Okay, so serverless is here, but the thing is, why are we calling it serverless? That's what one point I want to discuss now. Very good question. Yes, testing, debugging, everything is easy. If you want to have your own cloud, you can go for OpenWhisk. This is free open source. You can create your own cloud. Somebody is doing some BTech project work, or you are doing some your project work. In that case, you can use this. Create your own cloud, small virtual machine. You can create here. Do everything. What these things are doing. Here we don't have control. Here you can have the control, full control. You can. I have my student working on OpenWhisk now. He is doing some experiments on OpenWhisk, which we are unable to do from Amazon and these platforms. We don't have grip. They take care of everything. See, I said you right. After 5 minutes, AWS will try to stop your instances. I want to change this. That I cannot do with these three fellows. But in OpenWhisk, I can write my own settings. Testing, everything is easy. Okay. What is this? Good question by someone. Cloud and serverless. What is this difference? Because everything is same. Everything we are doing in cloud also I can do. Serverless is part of cloud. Okay, but there is something called as FaaS. That's what machine microservices is also. Microservices till now it was fine. It is called as FaaS. If somebody from BTech computer science, you might have studied about IaaS, PaaS, platform of a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and software as a service. Now we talk about function as a service. We talk about function as a service. So the difference between the cloud and serverless is that serverless cloud plus FaaS can be called as serverless. Okay, cloud which has fast FaaS feature, that can be called as serverless. What is this function as a service? It says that you have to write code in terms of functions only, like microservices. I can have small services. Each service should do one task. That's what I am teaching you here. I was telling you about microservices. Each service should do one task. Same way, here each FaaS, everything should be designed as a FaaS, FaaS. So you have to create functions. Those functions are called serverless functions. Serverless functions. That nothing but in our terminology, it is a microservice. This is a microservice. Okay, so you're writing microservices in cloud. You're writing them in cloud. That cloud is called serverless, and that microservice is called as function. So that new feature which is added is FaaS, function as a service, right? But there is one. This is going to be very popular. That's for sure. There is no doubt in that. But there is one drawback with these platforms. You know what? I at NIT Trichy, for example, my website I have. I said maybe I have talked to Azure. I said I gave some tender, all three. This fellow came cheaper for me. In fact, it is not cheaper. AWS is cheaper. Just an example. So, so this is cheaper. Assume this is cheaper. Microsoft Azure is cheaper. I had an agreement with him. Okay, please take my website, put inside your Azure and maintain it every day. I said to him, and I was making changes in Azure every day. I want to add new features. I was making changes in the Azure website every day. Now that whole website of NITT is with Azure. My code is with Azure. My database, student details, faculty details, everything is there with Azure only. Microsoft has that. He is having a big servers. No, I said he is having big servers. So in his servers, he is holding everything. He is maintaining everything there. Okay, so my database is with him. My details is with him. My code is with him. So this problem is called vendor lock-in. Vendor lock-in problem. Why? 10 years down the line, 2024, I had an agreement. 10 years it is with him. After 10 years, suppose this fellow Azure sells my data, this my details, my student details is selling to somebody. We receive calls, no, you like we keep getting calls that you want loan, you want this, you want that insurance. We get the calls. How is that data sold? Some fellow where who is having my data is selling it. So there is no guarantee that Microsoft fellow will not sell my data. My data is fully with him, my code is with him. I have designed, established it. I have been using it for 10 years. After 10 years, suddenly he says my rental, which was just 2 rupee per day, he might make it 20 rupee or 200 rupees. I have no other way to escape because my application is fully used in Azure. We are, all my staff is habituated for using it. I am locked with him. I cannot shift to any other vendor. It is very difficult to shift from one vendor to other vendor. This is one problem which I am working on. My current research is on how do we, having a website like NITT which is already deployed in Azure, suddenly if I want to shift it to AWS, how quickly can I do, what steps we should do, and what is the algorithm or what are the procedure for shifting from Azure to AWS, AWS to Azure, GCP to Azure. That way I am working on now. So for now I have taken how do we shift an application from Amazon to Azure. That I'm currently my team is working on, right? So this is one problem with these platforms, vendor lock-in. But that is not a big deal. Or we what the benefits what we see on top of it, that is not a big deal. Okay. And in the market, which you asked me, sir, which one should I learn, which one is more popular? 75% of market is share is with AWS, Amazon, because it is cheaper. Okay. Azure is faster and secure. GCP is not much, market share is very less because company it's using for its platform. No, Google has so many softwares or applications, so they are using it for themselves. Very less market, but 75% of market is share is with AWS. It means if you look for a job in AWS, you have plenty of jobs available in AWS and Azure. Very less for GCP. Okay, so you can learn about AWS. There are more than 260 plus features. I'll go through you. I will show you the demo maybe today or in tomorrow. Oh, and yeah, we have time. We can see that today itself. We will see different features in AWS. Right? You want to write your machine learning code? You can do it in AWS. You want to create a smart contract in blockchain? You can do it here. You want to design IoT architecture? You can do it here. You want to design a website? You can do it here. Whatever you want, everything can be done in these three platforms. Okay. I hope you got my your questions are answered, right? So yeah, let's now see the AWS login. I will show you this. Okay. Share screen or application. Okay. So see, I my screen is visible. Can you see the browser? Is it visible? Can someone confirm that my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see here, Amazon Web Services sign in. Maybe this is not the page. Yes. So if I click on sign in, already I have an account. So I will log in with my account. You have to create an account. You can create a, see, you can see here, create a new AWS account. So I can sign in, right? Now, this is marketplace. Sorry, this is not the page what we're looking for. Console, right? Yes. So once you create account and login in console, AWS console, if you log in, you can see something like this in the home page. Okay, it is visible, right? My screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, right. So here you see the services. If I click the services, all services, maybe we go to home page. See here, how many services are there? You see more than two, I think around 300 services. Okay, for writing, for computation, you want to write, run, see, serverless application repository, Lambda. Okay, see, I'm machine learning, you have Amazon SageMaker, Code Guru, DevOps Guru. Like this, you have whatever feature you want. You want to store your database, you want to store your code, you have the storage. You want databases, you have the database. You can link, you can put your maybe in tomorrow's session I will show you how do you no link your website, your HTML. Maybe you are having something, some web page like this. This is my web page, I have it in cloud, in I have this in GitHub. So this you can load it here. So you can put in the storage. This is database. You want to do migration, network related things, see, IoT related things. Okay, somewhere blockchain also we will have it. See, blockchain, creating hyperledger, smart contracts, everything can be done here. All your ML related things can be run in this. Amazon SageMaker is one, where you can write your ML algorithms here directly. Okay, so like this, for whatever you want, there are so many features available here, right? If you learn at least one particular compute, or you at least you learn 3 4 from this, you can become master, you will have lot of job opportunities. Okay, so now I'll just show you that function as a service. What is this function as a service, how we actually do it? You see, the Amazon AWS, its a serverless feature is called as Lambda. Okay, its serverless feature is called as Lambda. So I'll click on Lambda. Okay, you see here we have a button, create function. You can see here a button, create function. Just I am creating a function. I'm just creating a sample, intern sample, for example. See, here you have different languages. Which one do you want to select? Which Python version do you want? Right? So you want to write code in .NET or Java, Node.js, Python, Ruby, or you want to go for this Go, Rust, C++. Okay, you will have to change the OS actually for that. See, Java 11, Java 17, Node.js, Python versions, Ruby, right? Whichever language you want, you can take. Suppose if I take Python 3.12 here, okay, then click on create function. Click on create function. That's why I said you should have good internet. If internet is good, you can nicely use this AWS. See, you can write a code here. This is Lambda function. You can write your code here, test it. I have to give some test. This is the environment. Suppose for you to understand easily, I'll tell you about bubble sort or some sorting technique. Write the sorting code here. Write the sorting code here. Test it. Give the input. You can see the output. I'll just run it and show you. I'll just for testing you have to create some intern test. Okay. Save. So you can no test it this one because we don't have any inputs. You can see the output. If you go here, it will show you the output. See response. Intern test response hello from Lambda. We got the output. Okay. This is success and we got the output here. Duration. See build duration 2 milliseconds. Okay. Since I have run a program, when I am running, I need to use their infrastructure. For that, I have used only 2 milliseconds of their infrastructure. Okay. So that way you can write whatever in Lambda function. In Lambda function here, you can write whatever code you want. You want to write a HTML, you want to write a CSS. You keep adding functions here. You write a Lambda function, you can add another function. You can add as many functions as possible. HTML, CSS, run them. You want to see the testing outputs, you can still see it here. You can give the input. Suppose you have to give input as you are sorting an array using bubble sort. So you want to give the inputs. You can come here. You can give the here where you can give the values here and run it. You can click the test button. You can see the output. Okay. You can get the output and you want to monitor how it is working. Fine. So you have cloud watch logs. So this is one more feature where you can see how much no the execution of your program. But we are talking about small programs. But if you build large applications, then you need this kind of metrics to watch how much your application is working, running fine, right? All those things are available in this. Okay. I hope you now you understood about this Amazon, right? AWS. Okay. So that way you can write, you can create in S3 bucket, you can load your GitHub. Whatever code you are having, you can put it here, create a bucket. It's like your GitHub. This is like your GitHub. If you see inside it, I have my, I deleted it yesterday, but I have uploaded my code here. What all this GitHub, right? For this I have used different applications. This is a simple static website. So this thing I have deployed it here. Okay. That way you can have all your services in AWS. Okay. So this is like this. You have Azure and GCP also, right? We'll try to see them in coming sessions. Any doubts till now in today's session? I hope you understood. Microservices has just the naming has been changed to a FaaS, function as a service, or a functions, serverless functions. That's it. Job is same. What microservice is doing is same, right? So I think I'm done for today. In tomorrow's session, we'll see how do you use these platforms, and then we'll talk about machine learning as well.